Hello and welcome to Dario's Comic School, and today we take a look at Walter Simonson's Ragnarok. And this comic literally saved my life. I will tell you how and why. And I know this is the comic school, so there will be comic reviews, but we will go into them and I will recommend them for you to read, so you get probably the essence you need. But there will also be lessons like Andrew Loomis, how to draw the head and the figure and stuff like that. I'm just gearing up for that stuff and finishing commissions. So I'm trying to be consistent and bring quality while also working and playing in new videos. So stay tuned. If you want to support me on Patreon, check the links down below or buy some products. So be my guest. Promotion over. So, Walter Simonson's Ragnarok. Why did this save my life? So, let me talk for a minute and then we look into the comic, which is a very beautiful book. If you don't want to stay that long, I will tell you, if you like spaghetti westerns or revenge stories, or an old hero comes to his hometown and finds that evil has taken that place and he wants to clean it up, this is your comic book. And it is like a fantasy spaghetti western revenge story with Odin and Thor and from Walter Simonson. So I don't know what the year exactly was, but I think it was the year roughly 2016, 2017. And from 2009, when I started my film school, or even before that, when I was studying some random stuff just to get by, doctors found something in my bone marrow and they said, something's up with your bone marrow and you probably have leukemia and stuff like that. So from 2010 or even earlier, 2008, I was spending my time in hospitals and in constant fear what's going on with my body. And in the year, and I didn't really know what was going on. I only knew that at a certain point in 2014, and I'm born in 1985. Until the age of 30, let's say roughly 2010, I had like dermatitis all over my body. Really bad, and it destroyed really my life. But then once I had internet, it changed because I looked into nutrition, I looked into health and fitness, and suddenly no dermatitis to be found, because it's a sickness and illness of the Western world. But more on that on artist health in a future video. So I hope you're still here. I hope you're still here because this is very important. So in 2016, I go to the doctor and he gives me my blood work, and everything is going down. Like everything looks really bad, and I'm not feeling that bad, but the doctors are kind of saying, we don't know what you have. You might don't live that long, or you might gonna die in the next few months. And from there on, like my head was clouded, like shrouded. I couldn't think. Like all I was thinking was, it's like your life is out of focus, and all I was thinking of was, this is it. You're young. You're like 30 plus, you haven't started really living, and this is it. Like some random disease gets you. And I was really in a dark place. Like I was teaching kids how to draw, I was getting in the money, I was just functioning. But there was some feeling, like now I can proudly say, last year I've gone to depression and I've bad that, and I've gone to some sickness and I've bad that. But right now, here on camera, I feel very alive and very here. And I'm grateful for that, not in a cheesy way, just normal, just living life. You know what? I'm not hot, not cold, it's just cool. But I was in a fog back then. And then I ordered somehow this comic book. And I opened it up, and I know it was kind of late at night after work, and I came home from teaching, and like I started teaching kids how to draw, and that's where I started. And I opened up this book, and I was reading all of this stuff, and I was looking at the artwork and Walter Simonson, really cool stuff. Like he has really that Kirby energy, and I started to dig it. And as you can, or as you know, I'm not just into art, I'm also into story very much. So I try to combine that. And I started reading this, and it tells the story of a great battle, and Thor, for some reason, cannot show up here. And it's like the world serpent and the big wolf and all the evil creatures from the underworld fighting against the sons of Odin, something like this, in a great battle. But Thor doesn't make it. He can't show up because something, I don't know what it is, and beautifully drawn, and then it's over. And with that, the good people of this world lose the battle, and darkness reigns now. And then the story starts with these dark elves, and he has to go. Both are prime assassins, and they have a daughter. And no, she has to go. She was. Wait a second. She was asked to lead a crew to assassinate somebody. And so he tells her, look, I will take care of our daughter, come back soon. And she leaves with this horse and goes on a mission to kill somebody. And she gets money to recruit some scumbags, and yeah, she leaves her home and she gets there. And while I was reading this, I cannot tell you, like, somewhere down this beautiful story of blood and revenge, and she enters a bar. She meets up with some I don't know. It's we don't know who this guy is, but he's somebody very, very powerful, and he gives her the money, and he says, gather your team, you gotta slay somebody important for me. And it's an offer she cannot deny. It's not about the money. It's something deeper. It's like this guy holds power over her family, and her child. So she has to do it, and she's a prime assassin because nobody can touch this guy. And she, with her blade, somehow manages to scratch him, but he just laughs it off. And so she rides into the next scumbag town and recruits there. She enters a bar, as you can see, and there she starts recruiting mercenary scum. And yeah, somebody says, yeah, I'll take your gold, bitch. You and then she just cuts the head off because this guy was disrespectful. She then recruits their mercenaries, and yeah, she doesn't break a sweat because she's a stone cold killer who knows who she was before the Great War, in which the dark side won. And so she sits there and meditates while this guy and some other guys are plotting to kill her, to betray her. And this is the guy who needs to get killed. As you can see, he's already in chains, and I mean, how can you kill a guy that's already dead? But he's just chained. So this girl, her daughter, dreams of this guy, and her father kind of senses what's up, while his wife is trying to enter this place, which it's KLIGGNBORG, the fortress at the end of the world, and it is just beautiful. And so they get to the door, and of course there's some hammer there, and this guy tries to get it off with his spear, but gets grilled. And yeah, that's because there's a magical spell on it. And this is Mjolnir, as I recall. And so they enter this place, and this is beautifully drawn. I mean, look at these drawings. I wish I could get. Yeah, this is the first, and this is the hall they enter. Beautifully drawn. They come up here, a lot of chains, and then they find Thor. To be continued. Issue 1. I don't want to spoil this too heavy. I have definitely an older review of this, which in which I ramble even more, and the camera work, it ain't that good. So this is why I make it again. But I was reading this, and the haze in my mind, the knowledge that I would die soon, or maybe my life was over, kind of lifted. And it is very strange, because once, it was when I was very young, like 18, 19, I was working in a winter in a factory, and I was 19. I didn't have really a future because I wanted to do this, but there was like no option to me, or no help, no support. I didn't really know how to do it. Call me whiny, but I didn't know how. And then you can say, oh, you're not a real man. Well, Jesus, I wasn't raised. I was raised by a single mother and a sister, and everybody around me was kind of poor or had a poor mindset. The only thing they knew was get a job, go work, shut the fuck up. So don't blame me. Like, sure, a 19-year-old kid can be strong, but I always had a bit of this sickly stuff, and I always was chained to my home or mother, or to my friends, like this guy. I kind of was, because like it was a very poor mindset, and this is what I was. But this is not what you have to longer be. So of course she brought a bunch of scumbag with her, so they tried to betray her right then and there, and take her head, take the money, take the loot. But this is not what's going to happen, because a giant squirrel shows up, and this giant squirrel, gives Thor something, and Thor wakes up. Check this out. And Thor, I guess, is a god, and you shouldn't mess with gods, and he pretty much awakens and crushes the competition, as you might say, and they try to fight him. And again, I don't want to spoil too much, but people get taken out, and yeah, the prime assassin dies, because like Thor is just too powerful. But Thor shows empathy. He's not a fool. He immediately senses. He says, "Who sent you to kill me?" And he finds out that his arch enemy sent her, and she, with her last breath, says, "I have a daughter. Please protect her. I came to kill you only because I wanted to protect her, because this big, great evil threatened my family. I would never have taken this mission if not for my daughter, or to save her life." And that's when she passes away, and Thor, the man he is, doesn't take that lightly, and the title says "to be continued." And this is like a really great story with a bunch of beautiful fights, great artwork, a lot of people get slain, friendships are made between badasses. This troll will play a cool role. The husband of the dark elf, husband assassin, will come, and what started as a simple revenge story will become very deep and meaningful and beautiful. and like the drawings are just amazing. Like it's not the typical Jim Lee, but I truly dig this. Like look at this. Some things are very simple, but Walter Simonson has a certain age, and he delivers a great story with great artwork. And if you haven't read this, go get it. It might lift your depression and give you the juice you need to live. See ya.